In this video, we will show you how to replace your starter on this Dodge Ram. This will be mounted along the bottom driver's side of your engine. Let's get into it. Okay friends, let's get started. Make your way to your negative battery terminal. We'll use an 11mm to loosen this nut just enough that we can remove the terminal from the battery. We'll set this aside so it's making no contact. At this point, we can make our way safely underneath the vehicle. Let's make our way over towards the driver's side of the engine now. You'll find that that's where your starter is located. Now we'll make our way down here to one of the mounting points. You'll find that you have a 16mm nut that's mounted to a stud that goes into the transmission. We'll be removing this nut. Directly above that, you'll find that you have a 16mm headed bolt. Remove that as well. It's right up here. Socket on there. There's our mounting bolt. Now we can take hold of the starter. We're going to give it a wiggle and start pulling it forward. There we are. We can remove that mounting nut. Now as we start bringing this down, keep in mind there is still wiring attached to it. We don't want to damage it. Now with that down, we can start removing our wiring. You'll find that you have your signal wire, which is the much smaller of the two wires. For this one, we're going to disconnect the electrical connector. Generally on these, you'll have a red locking tab. You want to make sure that this is in the unlocked position. Once you've done that, there'll be a tab that you can squeeze with a finger, and we'll just lift this up and off of here. Once we've done so, we'll give it a quick inspection for corrosion. That one looks good. Now we can continue on down to the larger wire. This one's the power wire. For this, we'll be using a 13mm. It's common for this stud to break. We'll try not to. Now we can remove the wire from the starter. There it is, friends. Now that we have that starter out of there, the next thing that we'll do is pay attention to our power wire. You want to ensure that it's clean, free of any debris or corrosion. Sand down both sides. That looks pretty good. I'll do the same on the other side. There we are, that side's clean, and I did the same to the other side. Once you've cleaned the wire, you also want to clean the mounting area where your new starter will sit. We'll use a wire brush for this. Once everything's clean, we can continue on with installing our brand new starter. We'll be starting with the wiring. We'll use that larger power wire and just slide it right onto the mounting stud. Once you have that so it's facing straight forward, we'll continue on with our 13mm headed nut. Start it on there by hand, snug it up. Keep in mind you do not want to break off this stud, so you don't want to over tighten it. Right there is where it bottomed out. I'm just going to take it a little bit further just to ensure that it's snug. There we are. Now it's time for the signal wire. We'll get this in place, slide it right down on there. Listen for a click as you push it down. Give it a tug to make sure it is secured properly, and then make sure that you press in the red lock. We want to press this right down. There we are. Now we can install our starter. Let's get this in position. We're going to align it with the mounting stud along the bottom here. Should slide right in. We'll start on that lower mounting nut. We are not going to tighten this yet. Now that I have this started, I'll also start in the upper mounting bolt. This one's a little bit harder to get to. that one's nice and tight. Let's make sure that one's nice and tight as well. Let's reconnect our negative battery terminal. Press that onto the battery as far as possible. Use your 11mm to make sure it's nice and tight. We'll give it a wiggle to make sure that is secured properly. Start up the truck a couple times. After that, go ahead and take your vehicle for a road test. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.